you're one of the more active flutists on social media platforms. And one of the things I'm so impressed by is how down to earth all of your posts are. And we had a fan ask, "How do you stay so humble?"
Humble. I don't know. For me, this is just being myself. I don't try to be humble or not humble or none of the other ways. I just try to be as myself as possible, even in social medias or in real person-to-person meeting as well. And after all, when I don't play the flute, I'm just another human being. And I live in Austria, in a very small town, vacation town in fact. But most of the people, pretty much 99% of the people, friends I meet, I have, they're non-musicians. And I think they really, hanging out with them, they really keep me like a, I don't know, normal person without the flute. For me, that's my normal life. And for them, I'm just Jasmine, and doesn't matter I play the flute or not. And many of them haven't even heard me playing, you know?
Yeah.
And they ask me many funny questions, and that's very interesting for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my life, and I try to be, how do you say, honest with what I post. I'm not trying to impose something or hidden meaning behind. It's too complicated for me. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah. Great. Another user asked us if your family was always supportive and on board with your flute playing and your flute studies as you moved toward, your amazing professional career. Did you always know that that's what you would do? Were there other careers that you had in mind, and what kind of role was your family in that?
My family. Before I started playing the flute, I had many dreams that I wanted to be when I grew up, but none of them were involving music. I wanted to be marathoner, and it's very extreme. Medical doctor, poet, scientist, biologist. That's kind of similar. It was all, I don't know, nothing was involving music. But when I first played the flute, it was like, I don't know, it was a very powerful feeling for me. And I told my parents that I want to study music more, and therefore can I go to this music school? And they said, no, you're too young to go out of family. And I said, please. And when I think back, I had the best parents, because they, in the end, they trusted my decision, and then they were, I would say they were supportive. There's a funny story, because I was only 12 years old when I left, so you can imagine why they said no to me for the first time for such a long time. But I was also very persuasive. But when I left my parents' place for the music school, it was really hard for me, and then I could understand why my parents said no. And whenever I called them, that, oh, I miss you, and I'm so lonely, and so on, they always told me, yeah, so we told you that. Please come back anytime, today or tomorrow, we're ready. And then after a while, I thought, that's not what I want to hear. So in the end, I felt a sense of responsibility because that was my own decision, and they trusted me. And then I thought, okay, let's think if it's really worth doing it or not, and so on. That's how it all began. But after that, they were very happy about how I was doing, and whenever I play concerts in Korea, anywhere in Korea, all my family come. My parents, my brother, they're still to this day, they're very supportive. Now my little brother, he's 5 years younger than me, so not little anymore. He's a really huge guy, and he's carrying all my luggages, doing road manager and being a bodyguard, and yeah, I feel really big family support.
Oh, wonderful. So, do you have any favorite pieces to play?
Whew, so many, like all of you guys. But I think the most important thing is to be in complete love with what you're playing at this moment and for your next concert, because otherwise you cannot bring the love to through your playing. It's like, let's put it this way: if you are talking about your loved one, your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or family member, you're talking like this. Oh my God, my boyfriend. Oh, he's so nice, and then you make this whole room in such lovely atmosphere. Or you talk about certain thing that you don't have any emotion with, and then you feel completely different feelings. I think playing it's the same. You have to be in love with what you're playing. And for me, let's see, what's my next concert? I'm playing the Schubert Variations.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it's coming up in a few days, so I'm really looking forward to it. I first learned this piece when I was in college at Curtis. That was, for me, the most difficult pieces in the world, in every way, technically and musically. And now that I'm playing it again, it's like, wow. Even when I'm practicing, I cannot put this down. I cannot stop playing this piece. And even when I'm rehearsing, I just don't know where to stop, because it's, yeah, this feeling?
Yeah.
I just wish the music is just keep going on, and it's so much depth in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always right in your face, but it's like so much deeper meaning. It's sometimes it feels like when you're so sad and so devastated that you cannot even bring it up. You cannot even talk. You cannot make a word out of it. But then you're like stuck, about to say something like this, but then everyone can feel what you got inside, and that kind of feeling I get in this Schubert piece, and so on. I can keep going.
Yeah, beautiful. And I have just one more question for
Mm-hmm.
you that I always receive every time I speak to, especially a non-musician.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, flutist or flautist?
Oh. There are more to it. I mean, there are more options than just
right. There you go.
It's all correct because it's all different in every languages. But if I have to pick, I'm a flutist.
All right. Me too. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us, and
Well, thank you.
we can't wait to hear your next concert.
Yay.
Yay.